Okay, hi guys. Welcome to this watch list for Bursa stocks next week. Just keep in mind there's only a 4-day trading week because we have Independence Day on 31st August. So Thursday will be a public holiday. Trading may not be as good as it is for a 5-day trading week. Okay. So the first stock that I want to cover will be AAX. Okay, I received some queries regarding why AAX seems to be moving much better compared to capital A. Okay, AAX, this is their shares float. Okay, and then when you look at capital A shares float is this 2.245 billion compared to AAX, which is 248 million. That means it is 10 times. It requires 10 times more volume to move capital A compared to AAX. Okay, so next we move to the chart itself. Okay, first things first, we need to notice that the quarter report is coming out next week, so that is something that you need to be cautious about. I don't know whether it will be good or bad. If it's good, it may go higher. If it's bad, it may go lower. But it's really hard to predict because it depends on what they write inside the quarter report. Okay, so moving on from that. This is the first high that it formed, which is about 2.53. Okay, and then it went down for consolidation. This is the first cup, and this is the second cup. Okay, from here you can see the volume during the consolidation on this days is actually pretty low. Okay, and then on this side also is pretty low. Okay, the blue line here actually represents the 10 days volume average for the stock. Okay, so there is a possibility for it to break out. Okay, we use the latest high, which is this, and then this will be the support lah. Okay, you can use this support and resistance. Okay, but as a whole, as like a pattern itself, it will be like this. Okay, so AAX, if you look at it, is actually in an uptrend. Let's talk about stage analysis. If you talk about stage analysis, this is clearly stage 1, which is what we call the accumulation phase. Okay, there are 4 stages. Stage 1 is accumulation, 2 is the markup, 3 is the distribution, and 4 is the sell down. Okay, so clearly this one, stage 4, has ended lah. Okay, you can see this is clearly 4. Okay, so that this is clearly 4, and then this is 1, then it went even lower, so this is still 1. Okay, 1 1 1, and then this is currently in stage 2 lah. Okay, this is the markup phase. You just need to be aware that there has been 3 higher highs formed, and usually stock tends to start to become weak after 3 higher highs. Okay, so putting the 3 higher highs aside, this is the latest base, and there is a possibility it will break out. Okay, I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't, but there is the possibility lah. It's all speculation. Okay, next is Coastal. Coastal is a bit hard to follow on the income and also the profit margin because they have a lot of joint ventures. Okay, in their business model. They are more to oil and gas. They have joint ventures with Mexican company. I can't remember what's the company's name, but I know they have some Papan project. But it's related to Mexico lah. Okay, so I think what investors are quite spooked about is the fact that the income is always higher than the revenue. Okay, that means, I don't know, maybe investors are afraid that the income is not solely on them. Okay, like previously DNX was the same. So the stock actually, this is again stage 1, like a very nice stage 1. Okay, not much volume and so on. Then this is the stage 2, this is the markup. There is a worry that this is a stage 3. Okay, but we will know after this triangle ends. Okay, so or maybe you will know when the QR comes out next week. Yeah, the QR is also coming out next week. Okay, so if you look at it, this is the high, then it has been coming lower. So there is a lower high. Okay, whereas for here you have 1, 2, and 3, so you have a higher, low. Okay, so it depends to see what the QR will bring for this stock, whether you will go higher or go lower. Okay, but if you look at it from the recent days, you see like this, the base building is of low volume. Here also low volume, here a bit high when there's a hammer over here, and then here is continuously low volume. Here there is a breakout candle, attempt to breakout candle, which there is a high volume but failed, so it came back down. Then it continued consolidating until here. So recent days volume has been continuously high. It may be an indication that people are starting to money is starting to flow in, or it can just be a technical rebound. Okay, it's hard to say. So we will see what happens after the quarter report is released. Okay. MSM sugar stock. Actually, some of the charts I actually have the support and resistance, because this is the second time I'm doing the video. The first time actually had some errors. Okay, so same thing, you will see a stage 1 accumulation over here, and then this is a stage 2. Okay, stage 2 ran up to here, and then the new high is about 1.19. It has to break 1.19 before going higher. Okay, I'll move this back down here first. So you see, after it reached 1.19, it formed a support at this level, which is 1.02. Okay, so from 1.02, it has rebounded. There is literally a double bottom over here, one time and two times. Okay, so it's like a W. Okay, and it's going to go higher. Along the way, it has actually formed two supports. One is at 1.05. Okay, and another one, the latest one, is at 1.08. 1.08 support is quite nice, personally, because 1.08 also happens to be the previous resistance. Okay, so when you have a previous resistance like this, and then it hits there and rebounds, it's actually considered as a good support lah. Okay, you will know, you have a point, you know why. Okay, so it may continue. It may just be something like going like this. Okay, it may be an inverse head and shoulders also, I don't know. Okay, so it is one stock to monitor lah. Okay, the arrow just now here was how we project one pattern to arrive at. Okay, so if let's say, I mean you can find this information from books or Google as well lah. Okay, so if let's say there's a cup over here, a one-to-one projection from it is actually the high, the low to the high, and then you project if it breaks up from that high. Okay, so from resistance to support, and then you project what happens if it breaks up from the resistance. It will be a one-to-one, so you'll get to about 1.36 lah. Okay, a disclaimer, this is not a buy or sell call video. There is no buy or sell call inside this. If you require any buy or sell call, please look for your remiser or someone who is accredited for it. Okay, this is just a sharing of my own personal opinion of the watch list that I usually have for myself every week. Okay, so that I don't need to monitor 900 over stocks. I just need to monitor the field, which has been showing signs that it's quite bullish. Okay, so again, this is just my own assumption. This 1.36 is what the chart pattern may come to. Okay, it may or may not come to. Okay, next is Astino. Actually, if some of you remember, Astino had quite a good rally in, I think, 2021 before they did the share split. Okay, a lot of stocks don't come back after they do a share split. Okay, so I think the share split is every 5 you get every 5 stocks you get 4 or something like that. I can't really remember. Okay, but since then you can see that it has been on a downtrend. Okay, let me just show you like this. Okay, something like this lah. Okay, so on a downtrend until here, until somewhere here, and then it has been on sideways. Okay, you can clearly see this is sideways. Okay, and then now it has attempted to break out. Okay, this breakout coincides with what gap Astino had over here. Okay, most gaps are actually closed, some gaps are never closed. So I think this is just a case of closing gap after more than a year. Okay, so after closing the gap, we actually came back down and is giving a pullback lah. Okay, you can see that the breakout candle is of high volume, and then it came back down to pull back. The support seems to be here, 0.555, where else the resistance will now be 0.575. Okay, This will be one rounding bottom from here to here. Okay. Astino used to rally last time together with the other steel counters like Anju, Hyaptech. Okay. Those were the glory days lah. Okay. And then eventually Astino kind of branched out. It didn't really follow the steel trend anymore, and it still isn't. Okay, I think Astino's difference with the other steel counters is Astino is more of the company that sells the steel products to people instead of making the steel itself. Okay, but I'm not so sure on this. I'm not a fundamentalist. I just look at the charts. Okay, so that's about Astino. Next will be Gtronic. Okay, Gtronic had inverse head and shoulders here, which I actually saw during that time, and it had a very nice breakout. Like just now, I think MSM, if it's an inverse head and shoulder, your projected TP will be somewhere like this. Sorry, not TP, I mean like projected price lah. Okay, will be somewhere like this, 1.33. Okay, which is coincidentally also where it met some resistance lah. Alright, over here. Okay. It actually managed to break through the resistance, okay, and continue going higher until it formed a high of about 1.71. But at this 1.71 is, you see, it's actually considered as a shooting star. You can Google that later. What is a shooting star? There's a shooting star over here, and the volume is actually pretty high. Okay, it means you imagine the stock opened here, went up to here 1.71, and came back down to close at 1.6. Okay, 11 bits. And it closed back at the opening price. You can obviously see, like, you know, there are a lot of sellers, and obviously sellers are overpowering the buyers. So you can see the volume is high, means most of them are sellers lah. Okay, so it continued, then after that it continued going lower until it formed a new base at about 1.31. Okay, from 1.31, the first breakout level was 1.41, which we already managed to break out, and then it kind of came back down lah. Okay, to test its previous resistance turn support. I will explain this more later in the MRCB chart. Okay, that one more obvious. Okay, so now it's forming another high, a higher high with a resistance of about 1.52, and the support is at 1.44. Okay, this is also a stock to monitor. You see, during these basing days, there is not much of a volume. Okay, breakout day, higher volume, breakout day, higher volume, continuation, higher volume. So there is continuation, and putting back days are actually of low volume, which is actually a very good thing. Okay. Okay, next is MRCB. Okay, what I want to explain is already here. If you look at MRCB, it ran up from here, you know, then it came up to here. It formed a high of 0.425. Okay, and then it consolidated, it pulled back. You can see the volume is slowly reducing over here, reduce. Here is a bit high volume, not so good. And then after that, it continuously, you know, low volume. Okay, then it went up, came to a new high of 0.435, and now came back to 0.395, which for me is a very good support. Okay, and why do I say so? Because of this image over here. Okay, so for every stock that actually breaks out, this is the line of resistance, this. So you just assume that this is 0.395. Okay, and you can see that this is obviously the previous resistance, because you see here 1 and then 2. None of these candles actually closed above 0.395. That means the moment it goes up, you know, there's already a huge selling pressure over there. Okay, so it came back down to about this area. So when it breaks out from here, this 0.395 is the line of resistance, is the resistance price. Okay, and then it went up and it came back down. Now it's hitting back over here, which was the previous resistance, and then now has turned into a new support for the stock. So same as this image, it goes up, you know, it gets rejected by the resistance, then it pulls back. This pulling back part is actually the time where they wash out all the weak holders lah. Okay, wash until here to your next resistance line, and then it breaks out. Okay, when it breaks out, it comes back down to retest the previous resistance to turn it into a support. Okay, so this is what we call resistance turn support lah. Okay, or later if let's say there's a downtrend, it will be known as support turn resistance. Okay, so it comes back down, it tests here, so there's a likelihood that it will go up. okay, there's a likelihood that it will go higher with a support of 0.395. Okay. Okay, next is Itmax. If you look at Itmax, let me just hide it first. Okay, Itmax is actually quite sideways since IPO. IPO day high 1.55, then after that formed double top here 1.62, then started coming down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but if you look at this level, okay, it has formed cups and tried to break from that level 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, these two I'll explain later. Okay, so the fourth time, I mean, as it forms more and more, the risk from and the range from the high to low will be lesser and lesser. Okay, except for this one, this thing over here, which you can see this is a clear washout. Okay, it's intended to wash out the weak holders, so it will usually break multiple supports and then come back up, form a hammer. It's usually the case, okay, usually, so it has finally attempted to break out, and the volume is actually on the higher side. Okay, you see every time it attempts to break out, the volume is pretty high. Okay, here is 1, then here is also 1, then here is another 1, here is 1, here is 1, here is 1. Okay, this is the only one. During the base, the volume is high, but usually before a breakout, the volume will increase. Okay, so when it increases like this, then okay, there is a chance that it will break out from this level and go higher. Okay, so just now you actually saw extra 2 cups over here. Actually what I wanted to show is there is a possibility that it also won't break up. Okay, it's more of a speculation case, but you need to remember that the risk here is pretty low. So from here, if let's say it doesn't break out and it decides to consolidate again, okay, you can see here the low is 1.39, here the low is 1.40, here the low is 1.41. So there is a possibility it can come slightly lower. Okay, then another one maybe even lower, even lesser. Okay, so before it breaks out, it will do multiple pullbacks lah. Okay, this is actually what we call volume contractility pattern lah. Okay, VCP, where you have multiple pullbacks, each pullback with a lower distance between the high and the low. Okay, so you can keep a watch out on Itmax. It has been consolidating for quite some time already. Okay, I think the earnings, I don't know about the earnings. Let's just go and have a look. Looks not bad lah. Okay, got get contract also. Okay, profit is increasing, 12.8 million, then now it's 15.1 million. It may be good. Okay, next is Magni. Magni is not really capital gain stock. It's more of a dividend stock, if I'm not wrong. The dividend is about 4.6%. I think it's better than your FD. But Magni is in my list because it formed quite a nice volume contractility pattern. Okay, the first cup correction is 11%. Okay, and then like this, then came down here is 10%. Okay, next pattern 5%, next pattern 3%. Okay, after 3% finally break up. Usually VCP will be about 3 and above. Okay, so I mean 3 cups and above lah. Okay, so when it finally breaks out, then it comes up to here, and then now it pulls back. Remember I told about the resistance turn support, which is the same case here lah. Okay, so this was the previous resistance. You can see many times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, many times here, blah blah blah. Okay, and then it reaches here. Okay, so 1.89 is clearly the resistance. So when it hit 1.89, it rebounded. Okay, which means there is a support there. There is a support at 1.89. Okay, and currently the resistance is at 1.94. So it went up here, go hit the resistance, then come back down, find the support, and now go back up to 1.94. Okay, so this is the new resistance, this is the new support. Okay, next counter is APB. APB. Okay, I think the quarter report just came out. I don't know what is the quarter report. I didn't read it. Net income not very nice. revenue also decreased. Okay, but what I want to highlight is there is actually a huge volume that came in over here, okay, this day, and then on this day it actually really attempted to break out, but it failed. Okay, you can see the volume is quite huge. It actually met with resistance here, 2.53, which also which is also coincidentally the previous resistance, which is not able to break. Okay, so you see here, if let's say I draw a line at here, 2.53, and I use this, so it will become 1, 2, 3. Okay, notice each and every low becomes higher. Okay, so it's a consecutive cup with higher lows lah. Okay, and then this one attempt to break out again. If it fails to break out, it will be something like what I drew in Itmax. Okay, it will, you know, maybe just form a smaller one, even smaller. Okay, then only attempt to break out again. But if let's say after attempting to form many smaller cups and it still fails, then usually it will become something like this lah. Okay, it will drop. Okay, because it means these small consolidations are not enough to wash the weak holders out. Okay, so they will do a heavy washing usually. Okay, I'm not a fund manager. This is what usually happens to me. Okay. Okay, next one is Farm Fresh. If you look at Farm Fresh, the earnings report over here, which is in May, it should be this one. Earnings actually dropped. Okay, so profit margin reduced. Okay, and you can see that the stock actually fell quite badly after the quarter report came out. Okay, which is here. Okay, so it has fallen. Okay, this was due to quarter report, but you can see the selling is quite dried up over here, and then this is the new support. Okay, 1.27. Subsequently on this day, it broke the support. So when you're trading, just remember, if a stock breaks your support, you just need to be disciplined enough to cut loss lah. Okay, don't hold it, because the stock continue going lower. Okay, there's always a reason why it breaks the support lah. Okay, so it continue going lower. I am not so sure what is the news over here that caused it to get sell down so badly. But since that sell down, it has slowly been coming up lah. Okay, very slowly building back up. So you can see that during here the volume is considerably a bit higher compared to normal days. The average is a bit fluctuated because it's a 10-day and affected by these 2 days. Okay, other than that, the volume is okay lah, generally about 10 million like that. But to make it less volatile, the volume should be even lower. Okay, so here the volume is much lower, 2 and 3 million only. This is the latest base. So you see, actually if you really drill down to it, you will see something like this lah. Okay, so this is actually the breakout candle, which is 1.12. Okay, breakout already, and then form new support over here, 1.14. Okay, this new support, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you look at it this way. This one, the volume is 13 million, but this one, the volume is only 2.5 million. So it should make you feel a bit weird. How come 2 candles of the same size have such an enormous difference in terms of the volume? Okay, this volume of 13 million, this volume is only 8 million. Okay, and the candle is much bigger. This volume is 9 million, and the candle is also much bigger. Okay, so this is what we call usually an anomaly lah. Okay, and there's a possibility, you know, there's some exchange in stocks, you know, direct transfer, whatever it is lah. Okay, it's an anomaly that you need to be alert of. Okay, so the stock continued climbing. You know, it's kind of a staircase, you know, like this. Okay, and then it reached this high, which is 1.25, and then it couldn't continue higher, so it went through a pullback. Okay, the pullback is quite nice. Okay, but this breakout got no volume lah, so most likely wouldn't have happened anyways. Okay, so the pullback here is all of lower volume, and then one day before the actual breakout, the volume came in. Okay, you can see this volume is 4 million, this volume is 2 million, 2.4, this is 4.8. It's literally one multiplier more lah. Okay, and then it breaks out here. Okay, but it failed. Okay, it came out to a high of 1.27, breaking the previous 1.25. Then it failed, it closed at 1.22. Subsequent days, it formed a support at 1.21. Okay, so 1.21 happens to be the base high, or this area's base high. Okay, William O'Neill's book, I think, states the pullback for cup, I mean the handle, should only reach the high of the cup base. Okay, so I mean we don't use the cup and handle, we just use every correction after the pullback. Okay, every time you make a cup over here, a rounding base, then when it comes back down, it should not break the high of the base. But some scenarios they do break. Okay, they do break that high. So to be safe, you just make sure you know what is your base low. So if let's say it breaks for farm fresh, if it breaks 1.17 means it's not looking good for the stock lah. Okay, so it formed a support at 1.21 and then subsequently continued going higher to about 1.27 1.28, and I think still got resistance, so it came back down. But you just look at this 3 days candle, the volume is actually considerably low. Okay, 1 million, 3 million, 2 million, same like this one. You know, this is 1 million or so. Okay, and this is about 4 million now. Okay, so it looks like it's going to go back uptrend now. Okay, it clearly looks like it's going to go back uptrend. Okay, next is VS. Okay, VS is another tech counter. I assume it's tech. I think it's related to EMS. But there are too many tech counters in Bursa. I don't know each of them specialize in what. Okay, but for VS, I think they said it's EMS and I'm not so sure what EMS really is. So I will just leave the fundamental part to the fundamentalist Okay. VS this is literally like a cup and handle. Okay, the previous resistance is here, 0.94. Okay, then it came here, broke out but failed, so came back down and pulled back. If you look at it, the volume during this basing and this end of the basing is quite good, but the volume here is a bit erratic, which is not something that I really like. I will judge based on this base lah. Okay, the latest one. So there is this cup and then the handle. This is the support. Okay, the support is at 0.905 and the resistance will be at 0.945 lah. Okay. QR is quite long to go, so I don't think that's one thing to worry about. Yeah, we see whether this cup and handle materialize or not lah. Okay. Next is Agmo. Agmo is also IT related, tech related, but I don't know what does it do in specific. Okay, I really don't. Okay, but you can see that it has tried to form 3 cups. Okay, each with a lower high. Each with a higher low. Okay, so 1, and this zone should be like, you know, the area of resistance lah. Okay, 0.625 to 0.635. So first one come up to here, second one come up to here, and third one finally attempt to break out. So actually, if you look at, if you really look at it, the breakout point for the third cup is actually not at 0.625 to 0.635. Okay, the breakout will always depend on the last high candle. Okay, so for this, if you break out from here, it will be 0.635. If you break out from this cup, it will be 0.635. This one is 0.62, so you broke out from 0.62 and it's retesting back 0.62 resistance, whether it is now a support or not. Okay, which is actually a good thing lah. Okay, so and then the volume has actually also hit in already. Okay, so we wait to see whether is it going to continue higher or not. Okay, next is SDS. This is more to food industry. Okay, it's not really a tech counter. Same, you will see that there has been a low or higher low here. So it will be something like this up to here, and then it goes up here like this. Okay, it's more of a cup and handle lah. Okay, to see whether it will continue going higher or not, but you need to be wary. SDS quarter report is coming. Okay, so I don't know whether the quarter report will bring it higher or lower. Okay, next is Ptrb. Ptrb actually broke out already. The breakout point was here, 0.545. Okay, you can obviously see. Okay, it came up, down, came up to here, 0.545. 2 days failed, so it came back down, pull back, and then you see the volume over here is extremely low. It's only 894k, and then here is about 2.13 million, and then it broke out here. Okay, 5.76 million, but then breakout one bit only, came back down already, okay, to 0.525. Then the following day continue going higher again. Ptrb may be stimulated by the news of frozen food supplies. With the news that Japan is going to release radioactive water into the sea, and the fishes will have radioactive material in it lah. Okay, so the news is that China will buy more seafood from Ptrb, where Ptrb is a frozen food supplier, and they already do international businesses. So this may be one of the things that's stimulating the price to move higher. Okay, I'm not so sure how well it will play out. I don't know how much it will benefit Ptrb in terms of revenue. But usually if there's a news like that, it may be something good lah. Okay, it may mean the stock will go up higher. Okay, and lastly is Dchcare. This stock is a bit quiet. Not much of people, I think, want to push the stock. Okay, so you can see during IPO, this is one of the stocks that IPO this year and didn't close red. Okay, most of the IPOs closed red. So here it closed green actually. Okay, and then it continued going higher. This is quite high volume also, 32 million. Then after IPO, the volume quite low lah. Okay, and consolidated within this box. Found support over here, went for higher support, and now higher support again. So you can see there is a 3 higher lows. Okay, volume is actually pretty high on Friday. It's about 10 million. Other days is about 3 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. Okay, not very high. So the resistance here is quite clear, 0.535. You can see it hit 1, 2, 3 times and it failed to continue going higher. So maybe has consolidated enough, washed out the weaker hands, and it's poised to go higher lah. So can keep this stock into your watch list. Okay. Next week, Bursa may or may not do well. Generally, the entire market is not so good. My watch list usually consists about 30 plus stocks, 40. But this week there's only about 50. Generally, market and the stocks don't seem very nice to me. There are a lot of other stocks which actually shot up very high, which I did not take into account because it's already too high. I think, for example, it's like this. Okay, I don't really play this stock because it has shot up too high, then coming down high like this. Okay, I don't really join into this kind of stocks. There are a few others, I can't really remember what are the stocks, but I don't really join these stocks lah. Okay, we can just have a look. Something like this. That there isn't really an entry, okay, to re-enter. You can actually wait here, 07.02, and the support will be at 6.8. Okay, or you want something like this. Okay, this one has run up quite a lot lah. You will literally be chasing because I can't really find a nice support. Okay, EMW is because of the merger. P-Plan is also because of buying over. ICCT has gone up so much, you don't really have a room to enter. Okay, if you enter now, you will literally chase, and if the stock decides to come down over the next few days, you don't have a place to sell. The actual support to be broken will be this 0.645. Okay, so I mean the risk is quite huge lah. Okay, the support is quite far. Okay, so these are the few stocks that I feel it's still okay. Okay, you still can monitor them next week lah. Okay, I mean these are my watch list lah. Okay, so I think the market as a whole is not really that good, including the US side. We can have a look at the indices for US. We just go with Nasdaq first lah. Okay, Nasdaq literally is the only one that's really doing exceptionally well. Okay, basically US is being carried by most of the tech stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, Apple. Okay, these are the few names to call lah. Okay, so Nasdaq is the only one that is continue going higher and higher. Okay, it's currently at 15k and it had a low of about 10k. Okay, we mean putting COVID aside lah. Okay, and it's already surpassed COVID anyways. So there is a possibility that it's forming inverse head and shoulders. In fact, it's actually super bullish if this happens. Okay. Okay, and then maybe there's a pullback to about this area, and then it'll go much higher. Okay, projected will be about about 19.9k lah, about almost 20,000. Okay, but that's only for Nasdaq. Okay, when we look at Dow Jones, okay, this is Dow Jones. Dow Jones is sideways. Okay, it's basically sideways. Since COVID, it recovered, went higher, and it has been sideways since. It reached a high of 37,000, never came back there, and yeah, it's basically just here. It has been like this. Compared to this, it's a bit different. You can see, the trend is quite obvious. This one isn't that obvious. Okay, my personal opinion. Okay. For me, Dow Jones may be forming a head and shoulders as well, like this. So if it comes like this, then it will come down. Okay, maybe. Same goes with the S&P 500. More to sideways. You can't really see a trend. Okay, if you want to go say, it's an uptrend, it's something like this. But this you can't measure. You can't see it's up or down. Okay, so I see it as a head and shoulders as well lah. Okay, so it may fall, it may not. Okay, there's always a possibility. I will show you the Malaysian small cap one in a while. Okay, this is Russell 2000 index, also from US. I also see a head and shoulders may form. Okay, it will come up like this, and then it will go lower. Okay, but I don't know what's the TP. I didn't measure it. But the Russell 2000 has not been forming a higher high. Okay, it has been forming lower highs, but it has also been forming higher lows. Okay, something for you to look at lah. Okay, Hang Seng Index. Okay, the Hang Seng Index was supposed to look like it has found its bottom. Okay, it's a super long downtrend. Okay, from here continue. Oh, I have my lines ready. Okay, so it literally continued going down. Okay, like this. Okay, and then it just became very steep over here. Okay, so when it hit here for about 14.5k, we expected that the Hang Seng would have touched its bottom with the economy reopening and stuff like that. So it did. It actually touched here and it started moving up quite fierce actually. So you look at it, it's like like this, then build a base, then bang, go up again, and continue going higher. But once it reached about this 22.8k, it seems like it's sideways and it's coming down now. Okay, so you see it's kind of down, and from here you have lower high, and we thought it's finally going to break out here, but it failed. And it actually formed a new low, lower than all of these. So it's not looking that good for Hang Seng. But I did post a video of Hang Seng itself, of it going higher. Okay, there is a possibility that it will go higher also. This should be the channel it's in now. Okay, there is a possibility that it will reverse, but how far it reverses is really the $1 million question now. Okay, stocks that form new lows are a bit hard to determine what base they have. Okay, but usually if let's say it rebounds, it will rebound until the previous low, sorry. Okay, your new high will be the previous low, so it may rebound to here, which it already has, and continue going down. Okay, or it also can rebound out to this low and then go lower. Okay, that is that likelihood. We will have to wait and see. Okay, next will be for KLCI. Okay, because I don't know you are watching from where, but I'm from Malaysia, so I will talk about the Malaysian index as well. Malaysian index has been on downtrend since the longest time, since here 2018, but it's not because of a change in government or what, but you should realize that KLCI has a double top here, which is at 1900. Okay, and since then the index has been going down. It hasn't really recovered. Putting COVID aside lah, let's just like chop this entire part out. Just assume that it didn't, so you just continue like this. Okay, but it still hasn't come off the downtrend yet. It's still in a downtrend. So we need to wait and see how the new government's economic policies may turn the country's economy back to a good state. But if you ask me, I think the index is already in a sideways trend. Okay, no doubt it looks like a downtrend. Okay, but it's still forming lower highs lah. Okay, it's still lower high, but it's not forming a lower low now. Okay, in fact it's a small higher low lah. Okay, so you see here, and then you see here, it's small lah. So it looks more like a sideways trend for me now. Okay, so we will have to wait and see what are the economic stimulus, what is the budget for 2024 and how it will help spur the economy to see where the KLSI index will go. Okay, and lastly is the small cap index. The small cap index formed very high, literally very high over here, 17k. It's almost the previous highs. Okay, almost lah. Okay, let's go weekly. Okay, so actually if you draw a trend line from here down, you will see that it's almost there. Okay, but it is forming lower highs. Okay, which it's not good lah. Okay, other than that, if you look at it in such a scale, it looks like a sideways. Okay, but what I want to highlight is the small cap index formed head and shoulders over here. Okay, head and shoulders. The projected, like what I projected in the previous talks, the projected level where the head and shoulders should reach is actually quite far down, but it didn't materialize. Okay, and if there is the head and shoulders that happen and it didn't materialize, the rebound is usually strong. Okay, so it's not that strong, but it is going higher, which is actually a good news lah. Okay, so I'm not so sure whether it will continue going higher or not, but so far it seems to be quite good. Okay, so we will have to wait and see lah. Same like my comments for the KLCI index. Okay, as of now I'm only doing a watch list for the Malaysian market because that's where I mainly trade in. I also do some trades in the Hong Kong market and the US market, but that's just on and off whenever I see a really good trade because I don't really have time to monitor and do a watch list out of it. But if you do have any personal requests for a chart review, you can always drop me a message, or you can just comment in the comment section. That will be all for this week. On a weekly basis, actually, I will do a watch list for what I will monitor in the Malaysian market. So if you like this video, do like, comment, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. That's all. Thank you. Bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.